All right, welcome Trojan Phi Ed to the archery unit of PE. Behind me you see my target. I have my bow, and we'll go over the styles of bows shortly. I have my arrow. I got over here where my arrow holder. And this line is my shooting range. I make sure everybody, my family, is behind me and they're helping me with my video. No one's going to be in front of me while I shoot. Safety is very important in this one. The first thing I'm going to do is find my dominant eye. So you're going to make this triangle with your hands, and now I'm going to find something to look at. But for me, I'm going to look at that target. The target's going to be my anchor. I look through it with both eyes. It's hard to get a good view, but that's your base. Now shut your left eye and check if what you see, do you see the target? Now shut your right eye. Do you see the target? Hopefully in one of those, you could use a poster on your wall or just anything to focus your attention on. You could see that one eye, when you shut it, made the target come inside your finger triangle. That's going to be your dominant eye. For me, it's my right. So everything I'm doing today, my right arm is going to be pulling back, my left's going to be holding, and I'll be looking out of my right eye and shutting my left to get the most accuracy I can get. So you can take a moment, you can find your dominant eye, and we'll also get back into that later on in class. Some uses of archery: you could use it for sport, you could use it for hunting to provide food for your family, or you could use it for just plain fun. So there's a lot of different ways. Today I'm doing it the fun style. And now there's 4 different types of bows. This bow is long, there's no curve in the middle of it, so this is what we would call a long bow. If you see a bow similar to this is what we use in our Phi Ed class at Tech. We got some of these. If you see a bow that's similar and it comes through a curve right here, that's called a recurve. That's like, this is the old school bow you see in Robin Hood. That one's the second one. Third, you're going to have your compound bow, where now you're going to have a few strings that's used for hunting a lot. And sometimes it has a trigger that you hit. Instead of this one, I'll be releasing with my fingers. So there's different styles of releasing different bows. And last is your compound bow. That's similar to a gun. You can have a gun trigger on the bottom, and that's usually used for people who want to take an easier route in hunting, or disabled people use them a lot, or somebody who is not as accurate with your crossbow or recurve longbow would usually use the crossbow. But now they open it up where not only people that are disabled, but everybody can own and use a crossbow, so they may be becoming more common amongst sportsmen. One thing you know when you got our bows is you see this the string. I'm never going to dry fire it. So if there's no arrow in, I'm not just going to be pulling it back and letting it go. It's going to mess up the tightness of it. You're not going to get as good as a pull from your string. So if you get in the gym, don't be just pulling these and dry firing it called. That's something we never want to do with our bows. Just like there's different types of bows, there's also different types of arrows. They have wooden arrows, fiberglass is what we use in our gym, aluminum, which we have some of those as well, carbon, which will be used for more your hunting or high game, and composite as well. Those are your types of arrows. And now we're going to get into the fun part. Well, before we get into the fun part, I'm going to show you on our target what the points down there call. See, I got my target set up with a big fence behind it. There's also an alley with some more property that I own, so I'm not going to make sure when you're shooting you know what's behind you. Whether you're hunting or shooting for fun, you never want your shot to keep going and harm somebody or something else. So my target, it breaks down 10 points in the middle, 1 point on the outside. So the white, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 for your bullseye. That's how you break down. You usually shoot 3, 5 arrows a piece, depending on the person that you're competing against. And then you add up your score accordingly at the end. Now we'll try a couple shots. I'm going to come off the top and say I'm not an expert, but I do all right. If I were to go hunting or go in a competition, I would definitely practice some more. This I've done, maybe 5 shots before the video. So something you need to know, the bottom of the arrow, there's one that's a different color. You want to try to have that pointed out. That's your guide. And in the middle here, you clip that to your string. You see these are gems, so they're not exactly built for each other. There's a little pull, so that's why you'll notice when I'm holding it, I will not be straight up and down. I'll be a little curved so the arrow can rest on there as well. Things you're going to want to know before you shoot is you have to align your body. Your dominant eye is back. So I'm right eye dominant, my right hand is back, and when I pull this, I'm going to pull with my back and my arm. Especially if we're going to big, strong compound bows, you're hunting, you want the arrow to really go through and kill something, then you can't just pull with your arms, it'll be too tight. You need to engage your back just like you're doing a back exercise in the gym. You get into your stance, you don't want to be standing straight up, you want to be a little loose, so you can go and figure out where you're at, and your front arm is going to be straight. You're going to bring this draw back to you, 2 fingers, or however you hold it. You don't want your whole arm in there to get caught. And once you got your aim, you release. You follow through at the end, and hopefully your arrow doesn't hurt anything and hits the target. Make sure I didn't forget anything throughout our little intro. So the most important thing, remember, as we go, is safety. I want to make sure nobody's in front of my shot, nobody's walking through as I shoot these things, and I make sure if I'm shooting with other people, you don't want them collecting their arrows while you're shooting. Usually when we do it in gym, we got it lined up. The person says clear, then you can start shooting, and they'll give you another cue when to get your arrows. I'm by myself, so it's a little different, but always be aware. And if you're in a hunting situation, make sure sometimes by people's houses, don't shoot something that's right next to somebody's house, because if you miss, it could go in the house. You never want to harm a human. So I'll try to put a couple of these in or close to the target. A small demonstration. First one's not bad. Every time I'm going through the whole motion again. Yeah. Got the yellow there. It's very methodical. If you go up, you do everything different each time, your body's never going to get used to that practice. So I got to do everything the same. You're loaded. And also you're breathing. You always want to go, release your breath and go. You don't want to be too tense. It's very mental as well. Yeah, I'm doing all right, huh? I'll do the old Michael Jordan thing. He used to shoot basketballs till he missed. I'll go until I miss. And maybe I can make it through the whole thing on target. We'll see. And if ever you pull back and it doesn't feel good, don't be afraid to reset yourself. You got the bow, you're in charge. You don't shoot till you're comfortable. Now, obviously in hunting scenarios, you got to go when you got to go. But if it's just a competition or fun shooting, I want to make sure everything is perfect, because once again, it's not a toy. 4 more. I'm trying to make it, little fella. pointer. Last one. Let's see if I can go through the whole pack. Yep, crowd's getting loud. All right, so now if you could follow me, please. I will be, maybe I'll take the camera because my assistant is running into a little trouble with the fans. Crowd's getting rowdy. So I'll show you how to remove the arrows once you're done. So as you see, look at the finished product, all of them hit. We got a couple, so if you see that one that's on the line, I'm going to count that for the higher ones. We'll go 2 bowls. And now we will take a moment and see if you could add up the score. Make sure you get all the different angles. And once you add up the score, put it in the chat. First person to get it will get some extra credit. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 arrows. That's your hints. So now to remove, I'm going to push in with my foot. Or actually, I'll have to set this up here. Hopefully you can see. It's a 2-hand job. So I'm going to have to press with one hand, pull out with the other. Now right next to me, if it's a group, I made sure everybody else knew that I'm done shooting. They yell clear. Now I can go retrieve my arrows. I'm by myself, so I was clear. See, I got the phone from my assistant because weather is changing. He got a little snot nose hanging outside. So that was our intro to archery so far. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And then at the end, I'm gonna if I have to hand them to a partner, I'm gonna hand them non-tip side out like you're doing with scissors. But usually you want to come right here, you slide them back. It's hard to do with one hand. Into our holder. That is the finished product. So it was a fun day of archery. See, I did in my backyard. I'm going to rake the leaves next to finish out my workout. And it's just a beautiful October afternoon, middle of the season. Glad you kids are still here. Glad you're taking the online classes. Hopefully you're learning something, having fun, and getting out on beautiful days like this to do something healthy. Remember your skill cues, and most of all, you don't have to be good at anything in this class. Just do your best, give me a good effort, and give me a good attitude, and I'll show you a good grade in return. So thank you for watching, and as always, it is peace and much love to you.